Hi everyone, welcome to the International Women's Day webinar 2021 edition, brought to you by pitchIN. Today's title is I Am the CEO. My name is Shinola and I'm with my co-host here, Charmaine. Hi Charmaine.
Hi everyone.
And we are from pitchIN, Malaysia's leading equity crowdfunding platform. Now the theme for this year's IWD is Choose to Challenge. This, in essence, can truly be understood in many ways. A challenged world is an alert world, and we're all responsible for our thoughts and actions all day, every day. We can all choose to challenge and call out gender bias and inequality, seek out and celebrate women's achievements, and collectively create an inclusive world. From challenge comes change, so let's all choose to challenge. With us here today are four exceptional women who in their own way have adopted this theme. Charmaine, why don't you introduce them?
All right. Hi everyone. It's great to see you all here today. We have four women founders joining us today. They are Lavani, Dr. Alina, Li Ching, and Musria. Hi ladies.
Hi.
Hello. Hi.
They are founders of their own company, which are either in the process of raising funds or have already successfully raised funds through pitchIN. So first up, we have Lavani. Lavani is actually the CEO of Babydash, who is back for their second round fundraising with us. So Lavani, would you like to say a few words?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity to speak on this occasion. So a brief introduction. My name is Lavini. I run Babydash, and I've been an entrepreneur for many, many years now. If I look back, it's about 20 years already. I ran a different business initially, and after that, I decided to go for something which was more scalable and to create a new business which could reach greater heights. And that's when I started Babydash in 2011. In terms of education, I am a lawyer by qualification, never practiced law. I went into banking for 2 years, and then I decided to become an entrepreneur after that. So that was the start of everything. I have a little family. I've got 3 kids, and I'm so glad that my family is very supportive of what I do, because without them, there's no way I could do what I'm doing. So thank God for them. Yeah, that's my intro.
All right. Next up, we also have with us Dr. Alina Hasni. Hi, Dr. Alina.
Hi guys, thank you for having me here. My name is Dr. Alina Hasni. I'm actually the CEO and founder of Dermalin Berhad. So Dermalin is actually skin solution management, end-to-end care. So we have products, we have services, clinics, and hopefully one day I want to see I want to see our very own National Skin Institute, just like IGN.
Cool.
My background is actually before I ventured into entrepreneurship. That was like in 2017. I started off Dermalin brand, starting from a Facebook page, just sharing information. During that time, I was studying in Cardiff University. I did my master's in clinical dermatology. So I felt like I need to share information, like you need to educate the public on, managing skin, especially like eczema, skin that you cannot cure, but you have to manage it properly. And Dermalin become a business unit in 2017. So and now we're on our 4th year. My background previously, before I joined to become entrepreneur, I was a medical doctor in hospital. So I work in Hospital Serdang. Yep, that's a little bit about me. I have a small family. I have 2 kids. I'm actually currently pregnant. That's why I'm really breathless. With my third baby right now. I'm at 27 weeks. So yes.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Alina. Third panelist for today is Li Ching. Hi, Li Ching. Li Ching is CEO of Calms Technologies in Berhad, which specializes in IoT business. So maybe Li Ching, you can tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes. Hi. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, great to see you all in this event. As mentioned, I'm the founder and CEO of my company, Calms Technologies. Started this many years ago, since 2002, long time ago. So we are currently obviously in fundraising with pitchIN. What we are doing is, I think we are already at the, I would say, trying to bring us to the next level in the global arena. So I would say we are now regional. We have already presence in 17 countries. When we first started, we were already at 15. But since we started, we have added 2 more countries, Saudi Arabia and Turkey. So we are now in 17 countries, mainly through channel partners. So now for us, raising fund is obviously to enhance and actually get more reach to the global arena. I started, I would say, my career after graduating from the engineering, aeronautical engineering. Yeah, never practiced actual designing any aeroplane itself, but more on, my career started more on doing sales in the engineering software. So first I worked for a while in UK. I graduated from a university in UK, Imperial College. Yeah, and then came back to Malaysia, worked for a while for a company that does sell the engineering software to the consulting and engineering companies. Then that company eventually decided to diversify and adopt, bring in some technology from UK on smart card. I was fully in to help out, and eventually I drop my engineering side and go into smart card technology. And I think that's where it got me involved into eventually setting up my own company in 2002. So of course we started off smart card, but now we don't no longer focus on smart card alone. We call ourselves in the smart identification. Yeah, because technically your ID doesn't have to be a card anymore. It could be your biometrics, could be your phone, it could be your QR code, you know, wristband and so on. Yeah, so that's how we started. I would say family of also small, 2 boys, 1 girl. And again, I think main thing here is I think we are in the space of, I would say, being an entrepreneur. I think the support of the family is very important as well. I think as shared earlier. Yeah, I think that's a quick introduction on my side. Thanks.
Right, thanks, Li Ching. Last but not least, we also have Musfira Asri. Musfira is the CEO of Joyful. So maybe Musfira, you can share a little bit about yourself.
Okay, hi everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I am Musfira, and I am the CEO of Joyful. I am a mother of 2, and I would say that I've always been entrepreneurial, but I never really made it into a system. So I'm glad that at 27 years old, I decided to incorporate my first company, and from there I build a system that is better to achieve whatever that I want to for myself, my family, and for the community. For the education part, I am actually a graduate of agriculture. It's because at 14 years old, I have a dream of ending world poverty through sustainable food production. So I did my diploma and degree in agriculture. But after graduating, I found out that I didn't want to work in it, not even with all of the agriculture-based companies. And I was frustrated. So I told my husband to give me I deal with him to give me 1 year for me to just hop on and off a few jobs to find what I really wanted to do in life. But after the 10th job, I still couldn't settle. So I told him that I just wanted to focus on my baby. I was 6 months pregnant then. And then that was when I started to do yoga every day. 8 months after I delivered my baby, I started to teach. And then until now, it's been 5 years. And then I started Joyful.
Right.
Thanks, ladies. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Actually, you know what we all have in common? Maybe not Charmaine yet. We all have in common is we studied to do something and we challenged ourselves to do something different. And it kind of brings us to our little families. Okay, Charmaine, not yet. You don't have your little family yet. But it's learning process. So I'm a bit like Li Ching. I did engineering and then became a chartered accountant, started 3 businesses, and now in my journey is in a different, path. So that's something we all have in common. Yeah, we studied something and we challenge ourselves to actually set something else up for ourselves. So I'll share why I changed. I think things changed when I was pregnant with my first, and you sort of reprioritize to rebalance your priorities, right? I don't know what being pregnant does to your brain, right? I'm not alone, right, when I say that. So maybe, yeah, so it kind of makes you reprioritize and maybe gives you a different perspective on life that you didn't originally have. So maybe can start with you, Musfira. What made you choose to challenge yourself to kind of take such a, to start Joyfolk?
Okay, thank you, Shinola. I would say I've always been like this since I was small. I always wanted to create something, to offer something to people, to solve a problem. And I think it was such a big dream that I had since I was 14, because I went to, if you remember 2004, there was this like monstrous tsunami that happened in Aceh. Yeah. Okay, a year after that, my dad sent me to do a relief work there for a month. There was actually for a rehab for me because I was too nakal in high school. So when he sent me there, I see world in a different light, and I thought, what am I doing at school? I'm like, it's all about boys, but I don't want, like, but look at these people, like it's so hard for them to even eat, macam makan kais pagi makan pagi, kais petang makan petang, like that. So I thought, what are you doing? So since then on, when I come back to Malaysia, I was 15 then, yeah, and then so I started to build this interest in ending world poverty through sustainable food production. Okay, so that's what I see it. But later on, like I shared before this, it doesn't really work for me, like to do agriculture after I graduated. So I keep on. But that was then I focus on myself. Like I focus on my baby, I focus on my family, I focus on connecting with the baby, right? And then that's when I build a skill. Okay, build a skill on my own. When we start to focus on ourselves, we build something, we develop a skill, and after that, when I'm ready and I started to teach, okay, and I started to share my skills. And that's when I realized that, okay, I think there are a lot of other women who are like me, or maybe a lot of other people who are like me. They are monetizing their skills. So why not we make it easy for them to monetize their skills and make it a sustainable career for them. So yeah, that's what inspired me to do Joyfolk.
That's so cool. That's very cool, Musfira. Honestly, did anyone else find the motivation behind starting the business quite similar? What about you, Lavi?
Okay, so I shared earlier that, I've been an entrepreneur for a long time. I had my first business in the performing arts. I had a dance studio actually for a good 10 to 11 years. And we really enjoyed that. It was such an amazing, it was our passion. And it was wonderful. But we had taken it to as far as it could go. And so I was itching at that point, because I was already an entrepreneur, the bug is there. And there's this fire which is growing and growing, and you got to find something that to do to take things to the next level. So I was actually looking at different
let me share with the ladies
model.
I saw Lavi dance Bristol, and she was amazing, right?
Long time ago, can't do that anymore.
Yeah, her dance partner was one of my best friends that I grew up with, and I actually went to visit my friend, and Lavini was dancing with him, and that is how I met Lavi all those years ago. Yeah, it goes back a long way. And then she started Dance Space with my friend. So just the background, she's an amazing dancer. Amazing.
Wow, that's amazing.
Cannot do it anymore.
Matter, you did it once in your life. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I mean, it was amazing, like magic watching the two of you. But anyway, carry on.
We loved it. Yeah, so actually, to be honest, if I were to take your cue from what you were talking about, I never knew I was meant to be an entrepreneur, because I went and studied law, and I actually, was all very gung-ho about the corporate world, and so after I left banking, I got together with Peter, and we were just reminiscing in our dancing days and how it was so amazing. And that's when the spark happened. We thought, you know what? Why don't we create something exactly like what we experienced in the UK, why don't we do that in Malaysia? And that was the start of the entrepreneurship bug, because we were creating value. We were doing things that were not seen or not available, or people didn't know of in Malaysia, not to the standards that we were used to. So we thought, let's raise the bar in Malaysia, and there's so much talent here.
Okay, never mind. When she comes back, I'm sure she'll finish her story. What about you, Li Cheng? What about you? Coming back from Imperial, having done aeronautical engineering, you know, what was the challenge that you took to kind of come to where CALMS is today?
I think, as mentioned, I think I've really technically left the engineering space and was really already going into smart card technology, IT implementation, where you are talking about multi-application within smart cards, things like payment terminal, things like the PKI, public key infrastructure. Yeah, so that is like digital security identification and so on. So I was like heading a department. So we were doing A to Z in regards, because it's a small department, right? So you basically almost like running a company, but just focusing on the sales, the deployment, and securing project and so on. Once you hit, I would say, the glass ceiling, like say, oh, you don't see yourself moving forward anymore or improving further, then you say, okay, why, since you're doing everything, right, why can't you come out and do on your own? Yeah, so that's how I essentially started. So I think what we did realize was that with your own company, it's much worse, because now you got to worry about where you got to submit. First, company must have EPF. Company got EPF. Your own, you got EPF. Then you got SOXO. You got tax. Then you got wow, so many things. All these things that used to be like taken for granted, right? Because you've got the HR department that handle it. Now you yourself have to handle it. So the starting part was suddenly you realize, wow, you know. So, but I think that's the beauty of it, right? You go into it without knowing it. So you were not that scared because you were really excited on the end game, is that you want to create something. But you already started into it. All these are, you know, just one of the things that you need to solve. And I think that's how you then, you know, learn as you go. I think one thing I've learned as a lesson is that when I started out, I'm not quite sure how many of you actually had a proper business plan before you start, because I didn't have one. And I only looked at, oh yeah, business plan. Okay, let's look at preparing one when I was starting to look for funding. Yeah. And then, oh, how do you do a business plan? Then you start to Google, and, you know, luckily we do have a Google, and internet is there. You could download a lot of templates and all that. And you start to look, okay, this is a business plan. And you then start to build one. So I think that's how I eventually, when I came out, I would say quite without a proper plan. Yeah. And when you actually start that business plan, then you really had that plan. And I think even today, I would say the core business plan that I had still there. Of course, we have pivoted a lot, being that, you know, I started off with multi-application on smart card, but now the smart card is having a smaller component, but it's still about multi-application. It's still about enabling integration, identification as the core for community, yeah, within our organization. It's still there. So it's nice to see that my first business plan still valid, although, yeah, you have to tweak it there with the technology evolve, you know. Yeah, but that's how it started, from heading a department and thinking it's easy enough to do it on your own company. Yeah.
Tweaking and pivoting is a very, very common thread, I think.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lavi, you're joining us again. We had technical issues just now.
Yes. Sorry
never
about
mind,
I'm
never
not
mind.
sure. I'm not sure where it got cut off.
I think you were cut off when you were talking about your dance space and bringing something different to Malaysia, and you were going to how far you had brought it, and maybe you were probably leading into how you started Babydash. Oh, we've lost her again. All right. Oh dear, never mind. Let's carry on. I'm sure she'll join us back. So, Alina, what did you face by way of challenges when you started out, Dermalin?
Yeah, well, it's actually because I started off wanting to be a surgeon. Like the flow is there, so I did my medicine.
The internet.
Yes. Shall I continue?
Yes, go on, it's fine.
I wanted during my training in Hospital Serdang, like I wanted to do, I wanted to become a surgeon, and then and I have and I love that. There's two things that I love. I love doing things with my hand at the first, and then the next one is actually I love self-teaching myself, like new technologies, websites and everything. I've been sharing content or sharing information since I was like 15 years old. I did my own blog. I have my own YouTube channel when I reached 20 years old. And then I love writing. I love educating people. So we started Dermalin in 2015 as a page. I was just sharing what I wanted to share, like what I've learned. Like, you know, for eczema, for example, people are like talking about curing eczema when you can't cure eczema at all. You can just manage this. And I wanted to like tell people that you know, you cannot cure certain skin ailments. You can only manage it properly, right? So these are the information that I would share. And then I love the fact that Mus said just now, when adding value, then later on you monetize it. But then like leeching, I've had problem with being an entrepreneur at the beginning stage, because you don't have the business, you don't have that business mindset yet. You don't have the entrepreneurial bug yet. But then you do know. But the thing is, I know that I need help and guidance. I know like the books have to be properly done, like the accounts and everything, and everything must be documented. Like I know these two facts, right? To sustain a business. But then like I looked around, I learned around on Google, like teaching as well, going on classes, BMC business model canvas. Did that actually when I started Dermalin as a business unit, and start to learn all this you know, little inputs, and try to like actually grow the business like from 2017 to 2000. Actually we were actually very slow, if I may say, in terms of growth. But for me, it's good that we solidify at ground-based level first, and then, you know, the foundation has to be strong as well. So yeah, that's a little bit.
That's good. Thumbs up from Mus there.
Yeah.
You're hitting a nerve. Excellent. How's your internet connectivity now, Lavi? Oh, she's muted. Okay.
Yeah, but
It's much better. Thank you.
right. If I can jump in here, right? Hearing about your stories on how you started your company and how you were sort of like a little bit clueless when you first started out. You know, as someone who has never run a business, have never started a business, what was it that made you take the first step? You know, considering that all of you ladies have studied one thing and went on to do another thing. How do you, you know, did you have the fear that what if it doesn't work out, and this wasn't a thing that I set out to do in the beginning? You know, I spent all the years studying one thing, and then I'm gonna switch completely to another industry. How did you feel, and like what was it that made you take the first step?
I feel that, like, for me personally, I feel that it has to go right. Like, that's me. Like, it has to work. Like, I have to make it. Like, we have to make it. Like, we have to. The goal is still the same. It's just the strategy is different. You pivot differently. Like, for example, during MCO, we lost like almost 70-80% of our revenues because, you know, we rely on services. No, you know what? We don't have a choice. Like, we don't, because we really have to make it work one way or another. Like, we really need to make it work. Fine, learn, you know, do what you want, do what you have to, but we just have to make it work. That's personally for me.
I think it's a very Malaysian term, dudu dai dai. It's like, no, it's right, correct. Dudu dai dai, right? It's like a very, very good way of summing that. You have to make it work. Dudu dai dai. It's like, that's good. How about you, Lavi? Actually, if you can circle back to why you started Babydash, and
sure,
and
no
kind of
problem.
what it takes for you to do that while you're raising a small family as well. And then you can maybe touch on that.
Sure. The first thing I will say is that it's hard. It's not easy. And if anyone tells you that they can start a business, start a company, manage a family perfectly, and do everything and wear all the hats perfectly, that's really not true. There are sacrifices along the way. There's no such thing as a balance. Some people say that, you know, it's like that for a while, and after that you strike a balance. I haven't seen that balance. I'm still like working really hard and making all the relevant sacrifices along the way to achieve so many things. It's hard, but you know what? I think as long as you've got support with you, and everybody is aligned, and you know, your family understands what you're doing, and then it works out. So you really need that network of support. Otherwise, it's very difficult. Yeah. So why did we start Babydash? Well, at that time, you know, we actually started before Lazada and Tesco.
Yeah,
So
you did.
yeah,
I still remember.
just before actually. So at that time there was a very clear gap in the market. Nobody was doing it. And my friends all studied abroad, and half of us came back, and half of my friends were still abroad. And you know, many of them, when they would come back for holidays, they're like, "Wow, you all go to Jaya Grocer or Village Grocer to do your groceries?" They were stunned, you know, because they all did their shopping online. So, and at that point, most of us also had little kids, and so we thought, you know what? There's a gap in the market. So we identified the baby niche as a vertical that was very much in need of this. And we had no idea whether or not it was going to work. For us, it was, let's try it and see. And, you know, for me, I don't have any IT background. I'm clueless. So everything that I came across, even to set up a website, you know, all that was jargon. What the developers were talking about, I didn't understand. But we went with gut feel. You know, that's the thing about women's sixth sense. You know, it's very powerful, and go with that. And you know what? I can tell you now, looking back, we definitely made the right decision, because now I understand all these platforms. And now when I have conversations, bigger conversations with developers and people who've scaled, global leaders who've scaled to such a large level, I know we've chosen the best platform for what we want to do in terms of our scaling efforts. So it was the sixth sense, you know? Yeah,
Sixth sense, women's intuition, gut feel.
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah,
Package.
that's right.
We're talking about business leaders. So let's see. So Li Ching, who is a business leader that you most look up to, and why?
To be frank, I know a lot of people seems to looked at for somebody as a business leader and all that. To me, I never really like pick one and then use that person, you know, to be somebody that you try to emulate, or try to you know, be someone like that. You know, I didn't have that. Yes, you know, you do look at people like Bill Gates. Wow, yeah, you know, all these Facebook guy and all that. You say, yeah, wow, they can build. But I think I was more practical. I'm an engineer. I would say to the heart, to the core, in terms of where I was raised. My father used to be in the army, right? So I was raised in an environment where the girls can do what the boys, and when my father has chores or things to do, normally say all three of you do it together. So there's no differentiator that your girl go do the not so physical thing, or the guys do a bad, you know. So for us, it's always, you know, all three do the same. Yeah. So so to me, it was more like, you can do it, you can do it. Yeah. So for me, unfortunately, I don't have a name to give you, because it wasn't in my so-called way of thought to actually look for somebody and put that person as the guy I want to be like. Yeah. So to me, it was more of internal. Yes, this is what I want to do. I enjoy what I'm doing, and I set my own internal goal. So I think that's how I think I've really look at how I've moved forward in terms of you know, how I decide on my life and things like that. Yeah.
Nice.
I don't have a name.
No, I think that's a great answer, because you don't, you make your own path as opposed to trying to follow something, you know. So I think that's quite something to learn from that as well. Instead of saying, oh, I love Bill Gates, I'm going to do it the way Steve Jobs does, and you know, what Steve Jobs does may not work for everyone else. And let's face it, Apple only comes, along once in a generation, right? So, so that is
a number of generations.
generation. You're right.
A number of generations.
Long time. Yeah. What about you, Shamin? Who are your business leader? I'm always inquisitive about the millennials, right?
The younger one,
Who do you look up to?
I think if I have to give a name, I really admire Oprah Winfrey. I think she would be a common answer for a lot of people. But the reason why I say her is because she focuses a lot in kindness and not only focusing on how to be successful and how to earn and all that, but giving back to the society is equally, if it's not more important. And also her constant her constant interest in inspiring others and also to be inspired by others. To me, that is a good quality, a quality to have in a good leader.
Okay. Interesting. I haven't had that Oprah answer in a long time. So cool, excellent. How about you, Moose? Who do you're into yoga and stuff, right? So, I mean, you're not into yoga, you teach yoga. So who do you look up to?
Okay, thank you very much. I think that's an amazing question. First of all, I would say I resonate so much with what Li Ching said. It's really more about how you have been brought up. This resilience building in yourself, the background, that builds you. So basically, it's really more about your inner. But of course, I would say that there are stages. So for me, when I started as a yoga teacher, I have these Instagram yoga influencers that I follow, and I feel like I want to become like this person. Not in a way that I want to beat them, but in a way that how they master their expertise, how they master the skill, and how they teach others in the terms of producing that concise and contextual content. So I love it. But later on, as I started to build Joyful, I started to find more entrepreneurs as my example that I can follow. So of course, like Shirala said, it's the Steve Jobs, it's the Elon Musk, and currently I have Whitney Wolf from Bumble that I am inspired by. So yeah, I love it. I love the fact that she they made it to public, and then with her holding the baby, I think that's like phenomenal. That's it. Like that's paramount.
The benchmark, right? Benchmark, definitely. What about you, Lavi?
Yeah, so I also resonate, it really is about your inner self. But one thing I want to say, for me, it's there's so many people in this world, so many who've come up from really humble beginnings. And I always listen to interesting podcasts or watch videos of these people, and a lot of them, it was because of through hardship or some difficulty that they had, they built up that level of grit, perseverance, and those are the qualities that you need when you start your own business, because it's never going to be smooth sailing. And so you need, if you are one person who is like never say die, you have to do it. There's no such thing as no when you push forward. So those are the qualities. So I don't really have a particular idol. There's so many that I actually look up to. And I mean, one particular person I can name now is Indra Nooyi. She was the former CEO of Pepsi, and now she sits on the board of Amazon.
That was my answer. I love her.
Really? I know, she's amazing.
I should have gone first. I should have gone first. Then it'd be like I'm not stealing your idea. I love her. I love the way
she's amazing.
Amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean,
and she's so funny as well.
But she's a corporate CEO, which is a slightly different founder.
Correct. Yeah.
But she says a lot of things that resonates with me.
Absolutely.
I'll let you carry on, but I was like, yeah, she stole my answer.
No, I'll let you, since I've said it and you already sort of know, then and there are others as well who've come from really humble beginnings, and then they've gone to the US and they started with nothing, like $2 in their pocket, and today they're sailing high, and all because they just persevered and they went for it and they worked really hard, blood, sweat, tears, constantly, nonstop. So I think, those are the qualities I look up to in various people around the world, and it's not just one or two, it's literally so many. you
Yeah.
know. So I think all young entrepreneurs should take should take lessons and listen to these podcasts and videos. They are available, and it's so inspiring. You need to do that to be energized. You need to get your inspiration from somewhere and get ideas. So that keeps me going, actually.
Actually,
Yeah.
podcast now, it's Clubhouse, right? Is all of you on Clubhouse now?
No,
Yeah,
it's only for iPhone.
Oh, okay, right. Of course, yes. I
Yeah,
got
yeah,
into Clubhouse finally.
right.
I
no,
can
I
read to.
as we
It's a
like
really
this
good
call,
platform.
actually taking notes. But how about you, Dr. Ali? You can also share with us who is your personal business idol?
Oh yeah. Well, basically, if you look at life journey, right, our life, we have a milestone in our aging process. So at every milestone of that milestone, you have different people you look up to, depending on your self-discovery, what you want to improve in yourself. So like at earlier stage, I remember having to drive daily to from Glenmary, my house, to Port Dickson on a daily basis. That's 95-kilometer one way. So I've been listening a lot from Brian Tracy. So I think he changed my mind in terms of mindset setting, in terms of productivity, in terms of, building from within what you want to project outside, law of attraction and all that. So it's all about positivity, productivity at that stage. And then when the next journey was then entering entrepreneurial and entrepreneurship, then it changes to, like, I don't know, you guys, it's Gary V. Gary V, I love like the hustling bit. Like you really need the hustling bit, and I learned a lot of like the hustling tips and tricks from Gary V. Like I know that you can't give up. I know that you need to keep adding value, and you need to keep it like like, yeah. So that's Gary V. And then later on, when you start to have your company, right now I almost have around 30 employees, so it's more towards leadership icon. So I look up to writers like Simon Sinek, the big why. And I learned a lot about leadership qualities from him. So those are a few names that I can just give, but I don't really have just one. I'm the same. I resonate with you guys. And so like, you don't have just one name for because it's different in your life journey, depending on that milestone as well. Yeah.
Right. So listening to you talking about hustling and also, how just now Lovely, she shared about her struggles trying to balance between work and life. Someone who again has not started business or has not started my own family, maybe you can educate me about how is it that you manage to, or how do you balance between your business and also having a family? Maybe Li Ching, you can start first.
Good question. It's a hard one. I think personally, I've been very lucky. First, my immediate family, my husband is very supportive. And I think living nearby where you have either your own family or your in-laws family to be around, to be providing that secondary support, extremely useful. It's one thing to hire a maid and then hoping that the maid will look after your children, right? And knowing that your children are in the hands of your actual relatives. Yes, you can have maids or you can send it to somewhere. Yeah, having your own family, I think you have got the comfort level that they are well taken care of. Yeah, so I think for me, my husband has 11 brothers and sisters. So he has essentially a whole army of uncle, aunties.
Wow.
If anything happen, we can always temporarily, can this uncle take over this auntie? Yeah, and everybody is nearby. We live nearby. I'm staying in Kajang. My in-laws, all the families are all living nearby. So to me, when the kids were young, that's very useful. So I think that having that secondary so-called family support is extremely important. So to me, I was lucky in that sense. Yeah, I think that's how, on my side, I would say that's how we were able to get through. My kids are now my youngest is already in second year university. So, it's now, if you want their time, you got to make an appointment.
Yes. I guess that's what happens.
it's no longer you got to worry about them anymore. Yeah.
I think the term "it takes a village to raise a child" is actually very, very, very true. At least when it, like my experience with my kids, when you're working, you need the support, and we're very blessed in our culture that parents are willing to look after your kids, right? And I think that we do become the sandwich generation, as they call it, in between your parents and your kids. But I think that that support is very, there's a common thread between women in Asia, especially, that who I think remain in work much longer than in other cultures, because we have the village, for sure. And I don't know whether anyone has any other views on that, but and if you do, then feel free to jump in. But definitely, Charmaine, don't go away from your parents or your in-laws, okay? Next time when you have kids, that is the main advice. I mean, we've got a few moments for a few other points that we wanted to cover. So, Moose and Alina, you're in a way influencers on Instagram, I would say.
Niche lah.
Yes,
Niche
yes.
lah, niche.
Yeah, especially Ina said that you actually started your business from social
Right.
media, but you started your Facebook first, right?
Oh, okay, yeah. The Facebook, yeah.
So, like even for a normal person like me, sometimes I struggle to decide what goes on social media and what doesn't. So how do you, as entrepreneur, as a woman yourself, and also as a social media influencer, so how do you decide what goes on your social media and what doesn't? So how do you separate
Right.
between your business life and your personal life?
Okay. All right. So first of all, I'm not a social influencer. No, that's not that's not me. But anyway, I started off in the Facebook. It's just basically, when you got back from university, like after all the studies, like I feel like I need to share. There's a few things. I need to share something that's educational. I need to share something that's inspirational. So I've always separated both of this, and I wanted this to actually, because it just reflects on what I think at the moment. Usually, what I do, like other people, they plan for their content, and that's really good. I really look up to them, but I really don't have time. Like, to be honest, I really don't have time. But right now, I have a team that actually do that for me, and give that kind of like essence, just a little essence that, it has to be inspirational, like it has to be educational and all that. So planning content is just for me, starting out is just it's just very sudden lah. Actually, it's just random sebenarnya, and you just want to share information, you just want to share the knowledge. And I remember, like at 16 years old, I used to make a website, women's health education. It's so funny. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's that. And I love medical. I love medicine itself. And I love talking about physiology, the system, what works, and what's happening to the connection, what's happening to the system itself. And I love it. You know what? Hey, this is really fun knowledge. Like, let's make it fun. So always have fun in what you do. Be it inspirational, be it educational. You just want to give back value, let's say. And currently, right now, I'm starting to, like Mr. Sam asked me to actually, I'm starting to share a little bit more about the business journey, and personally, for that, business journey as a whole. So that's the kind of like the angle that I use throughout my lifetime. As a, well, it's not social, but yeah, but online, as online presence.
How about you, Musfira? Because your portfolio is more lifestyle and more embedded in your personal life, right? So how do you juggle between business and your personal life?
Okay, thank you very much, Charmaine, and I love your question. Before I answer that, I'm just gonna ask you, what is it that you like? What is your hobby? What is, maybe you like fashion, or maybe you actually like working out, or maybe you actually like writing. So can you share maybe Charmaine or Shinola, yes? Anything that you like?
I mean, there are a lot of things that I like. I like working out, and the common answer is that, I like traveling, but I haven't really found that one thing that really inspires me, or I'm so passionate about it that I would want to share it. So maybe, yeah, maybe I just haven't found it yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing. What about Shinola? What is your hobby? What do you like doing?
Oh, I like doing makeup. It's a
cool.
no-brainer. I love doing different looks on makeup, but
Yeah.
I'm inherently a very private person. So, I mean, what you see out there on my social media platforms are just stuff that
Family, a little bit of
you
family.
won't really get to know me, if you know what I mean, because I'm very
Yeah.
private inherently. And I do makeup for my friends. I try makeup on myself. So makeup is my my zen zone, right? And working out and yoga and all that is just part of life for me. But if you ask me, the one thing that excites me to do for fun, right? Just for fun,
Yes.
I like, just take me to Sephora and I'm a happy lady.
Oh my God.
I'm like, wow, Sephora. My husband's like, I'll see you later, right? I'm like, yes, don't expect me back for the next half an hour, right? So that's what I like to do. But I don't share that very publicly. Maybe it's the first time I'm saying it in this space.
Yes.
But I don't share that publicly because I'm very private. So when I see social media influencers, I'm like Charmaine, curious as to how you make that boundary, right?
All right, thank you so much for sharing. So to me, if you're looking into becoming a social media influencer or even a digital creator, you can start by sharing your journey in doing what you love. So let's look at it as something just documenting your journey, because that's what happened to me. And as for my journey, I don't have to have, I mean, it's a blessing, it's great, and I'm sure it takes some time to build that massive following. But just with my 4,000 following, I can earn a decent income, actually quite nice income monthly, just doing yoga, teaching yoga 10 hours per week. So that's what I'm sharing. If you are looking into really building something on the side or really creating something, designing your own self, because sometimes life is not about finding ourselves, it's about creating ourselves, who we want to be, who we like to be, who we actually feel that that's who we are. Because actually, whatever we are is within us. We just need to explore, create, design. So if you start to maybe share one thing, Charmaine, maybe you start to share about workouts or travels. You can choose one, and then from there you can see that doors will start to open. Then later on you will find, oh, this is my niche, this is what I like, and suddenly you can become this social media influencer or just a digital creator with your own niche audience.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Musfira, for sharing. Okay, before we move on about talking about your individual ECF campaigns, I have one last question. Is how do you guys measure success, right? It's something that I know I struggle with because, when we're taught in the traditional way, the education system says you get a job, you get a salary, you measure success in a monetary way. And I've come to evolve and say success is where you're most at balance with, and you're happy happy as you can be without compromising different aspects of your life, and everything is okay, right? So I still haven't, I don't define success. I'm still getting there. So I'm curious to see how you measure success. Maybe Lavi, you'd like to share?
Sure. I think to answer that question the question would be success in which aspects of your life. So if you ask me, how would you define success within your family? Then of course it's about, nurturing the children, bringing them up, and then hopefully they turn out all right, and everybody's happy. Then you've done a great job. Everybody's got a different journey. So that would be my definition of success in the family. As long as everybody's happy and everything works out somehow, and we need to encourage each other within the family environment with their respective skills or whatever it is that they aim to do, their ambitions. And I have to share that I've got a very interesting situation where my son has chosen to become a wrestler, and that is
Oh,
totally off the chart. Yeah, it's totally off the chart. So for me, he's brilliant. He's really intelligent, but he's decided that this is what he wants to do. So I'm learning in this process that, you know what, I have to be supportive, and if he does really well in that field, then that's the definition of success of what he has achieved, you know. And so I think it's about balancing all that within the family environment. So that's the one aspect. If you look at the company, if I look at Babydash, I look at the journey we've been through from beginning, right, you know, ups and downs, and you know, it's been, wow, an amazing journey. It's fantastic. So much to learn, and I mean, so many things, that so many rocky roads, and but we're here. We're here today. We're about to scale up to the next level. And for me, it's all these milestones that we achieved along the way, despite the hiccups. We still went ahead. So those are all little successes. Those those are all little successes to celebrate along the way, you know. So I don't think there's one thing. It's like, you know, you celebrate every little thing because there's so much joy, and that's what keeps us all going. So I think success is something that's constantly happening, and we must be always cherish those moments, and just always be successful every year. Basically, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Alina, what about you?
Okay. Success is about being happy in what you're doing. You have to do the right thing, right? So being happy is what Brian Tracy used to say, is progressive realization of worthy goal. So when you have that goal in mind, I wanted to see our own Institute Kulit Negara. Like I want that. And we're progressing towards that. We want to move towards that. And just like what Lavini said, you celebrate little wins. Celebrate little wins. It's a big ambition, but you know you'll get there someday. But just celebrate the little milestones, little wins in life, and then inshallah you'll get there. Yeah.
Celebrate little wins. I love that. I actually really love that.
Yeah.
Being happy and celebrating wins. What about you, Li Cheng?
Yeah. Well, I think you guys already have said it all. I think, you know, it's definitely, I think the one thing is that obviously when you set goal, yeah, what you do if you have achieved that goal, what next, right? So that's what this is all about. Yeah. Where is your measurement of success? You don't want to do it too high that you seems not to be able to reach it, right? So you want to do so-called set goals where you can achieve. And then after you achieve, obviously there has to be a next goal, right? So
Yes.
then it's like, oh, am I successful now? Okay, not enough. So you're going for the next level and next level. And I think that's where I think being an entrepreneur is all about. Yeah. The being an entrepreneur, I would say to a certain extent, you are the leader. Why? Because all the employees is waiting for you to set the direction. Yeah. And you know, we got to move the so-called the goal higher and higher so that they all realize and can work together to achieve that. So I think in terms of measurement of success, I would say would be how you manage to convey your messages to your people, to your team, such that we all can work together to reach that success. Yeah. So if let's say you don't manage to convey your message, I think I realize that now being the CEO or being the owner of the company, end of the day is it's not such thing as telling people. Maybe in our parents' day, it could be where the culture is that this is what I tell you to do, you do it, you know, and people be yeah, okay, or else I lose my job. I think it's worse even now with the younger generation, right? They have to feel that they, have the same appreciation of what you are before they even want to bother joining your company, let alone they want to work for you, right? They would even evaluate your company. So I think the ability to convey message becoming more important. And to me, if you say, how do I measure success? If I've been able to successfully convey what I want to achieve from the company, so it's the same with the family as well, right? Whether your children understand you and whether you understand your children, and everybody has the same goal that you're going into, right? So I think that's where I would say your measurement success would come in. Yeah. Or else, because there's no single post that you're saying, okay, this is it, my measurement of success, because that has to move on and on and on. Every year is a different, at every single time there's a different pole that you are targeting. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you share those sentiments, Mus?
Well, I actually have my own.
Okay.
Which the other ones are amazing, which is true. I share, but I also have another one, which is I specifically measure success when I'm able to break my old pattern. So, for example, so this is very small changes that we do in our life that add up to this whole new person that we have to be or want to be or need to be in order for us to be able to be relevant in the different stages of our life. So to me, it's when I'm able to be mindful and I'm like realizing that, okay, this is my old pattern, break it loose. So for example, because I'm building Joyful with my husband, and sometimes personal things gets into the professional things, okay? But we can't have it anymore. So when I realized that, okay, Moose, you're not being professional, so I'm just gonna cut my emotions, I'm just gonna cut my like old style, the personal stuff, and I'm just gonna, yes, okay, let's do this. So it's about, yeah, being able to
Breaking your pattern.
realize, your pattern, your old pattern that is no longer serving you.
But it's also challenging yourself to get out of your comfort zone, right? So it's actually comes back to the choosing to break your pattern is choosing to challenge yourself.
And it's very, very important.
I like that. I resonate with that. Okay, that's going to be my answer next time anyone asks me, how do you measure success? You know, oh, I break my pattern. That's what I do. Break. Let's break it. All right. Okay.
Right. Thanks for sharing. We're almost at the end of the session, but before we go, maybe you can share a bit about your ECF campaign with us. Our viewers would be interested in how much you're raising and at what stage you're in now. So maybe Dr. Alina, you can share with us.
Hi. Okay. So we just got pre-live. Yesterday was last night was actually my first pitch to the introduction to issuer, right? So we're releasing 10% for 1 million. So that's one block, 1,800. So yeah. We actually want to plan this out properly so that we would later on can I don't know how to share this.
I think Dermalin is hoping to raise
that.
Can. But Dermalin is just to help you out, Alina. Dermalin is hoping to raise 1 million for 10%.
Okay, yeah.
And for a business expansion, right?
Yeah,
Your future equivalent of IJN for Dermalin.
So for 2021's expansion for 1 million, so that's going to be for the opening of our new skin centers. So we have our 4th branch. Currently, we're renovating our KL branch in Setapak. So that's coming soon. Developing new products and also the system. Just imagine, going to Watson or Guardian. Getting a note saying that this are the skincare, the products that's suitable for your skin. So that's like my little dream there. So it's just making everything cohesive in that sense, to for the ecosystem to get a better skin health. Yeah. So that's for Dermalin.
Thanks, Dr. Alina. And what about you, Lavini? We understand that Babydash raised with us 3 years ago, and then now you're back. So maybe you can share with us on your plans for your second rounds campaign.
Sure. So maybe let's start. That's a good starting point. Let's start with 3 years ago. That was the first time we raised money from the public. And at that time, we were so honored to get so many people come in, especially the mummy community, because we have such a good wide base of parents that constantly buy from us. So isn't it amazing that, the mums themselves own a piece of Babydash, whom they're buying all their milk, diapers, and baby food and skincare from. So I think we love that. We love the wholesome story that we got our community involved. And so we went to market 3 years ago at a 10 million valuation. And since then, we've grown by 3 times. So we're really pleased with our growth. And so now we're going to market at a 30 million valuation. And we are looking to raise up to 4 million actually, but we will do a minimum subscription of 500,000. Yeah. So that's where we are. And we've got big plans. We've got big plans as to how we're going to scale up Babydash to the next level. I'm actually looking regional. So we already have a footprint in Singapore, but I'm looking to see how we can deepen our strength there. Of course, our number one priority is still to grow even bigger in Malaysia. We are also looking at going into Indonesia this year. The last exciting thing that we'll be doing is that we'll be creating our own brand of baby food and baby cereal. So we're teaming up with a superpower in Southeast Asia. They're baby manufacturers, so we'll be working with them to come up with our own brand. So lots of exciting things to do to really scale up Babydash to the next level, and we're really excited. It's going to be fantastic. Yeah.
We are very excited as well. So Lee Ching, comms technology is also currently pre-live on pitchIN. Would you like to share about your campaign as well?
Yep. We are raising for a minimum of 2 million up to 5 million. We are valuing our shares at 22 ringgit 30 cent for minimum block of 100. At pre-live, we also are offering a 10% bonus. Yeah, so that people so-called investing during this pre-live, and we will stop that once we hit our 2 million. Yeah, so it's available for the first 2 million investors. So they actually get a special additional bonus of another 10%. So that means they will get 110 shares for a 22,230 investment. Yeah, so we're definitely looking forward. Again, our investment, I would say 3 core areas where our money will be used for, because we are going to grow our export contribution from current 30% to 50%. So which means that a lot of it will go into that area. First is to make sure our help desk, our support center is able to be made available 24/7, because currently we only operate during office hour Malaysian time. And since now we already have presence in UK, we need to cover minimum also up to midnight. And we are also now Middle East, they are like 5 hours ahead. So I think first is the ability to improve our support services. Second is to looking at hiring actual local staff within Philippines as well as Indonesia. And we may send one guy over into Ireland because we want to look at really growing that potential market and make sure that we get that bigger contribution from the export market. And our final investment will be looking at providing more cloud subscription solution. Currently, a lot of our solutions are on-premise licensing. That means people install at our local server. So now we want to create more solution that will be cloud subscription based, so that we can tap into more of the SME market. Yeah, so this is where we are looking at, right? So we look forward to all the early birds who get more benefits. Thank you.
All right, last but not least, Musfira, maybe you can also share with us your ECF campaign with Joyful.
Okay. All right, thank you, Charmaine. So with Joyful, we are raising up to 1 million ringgit for a 15% stake of our company to help digital creators, freelancers, consultants, coaches, instructors, anyone with skills to monetize their expertise and earn from it. And especially is very relevant in this era of talent and creators economy. So really come and be part of this exciting journey with us. Yeah.
All right, thank you. That's all the time we have for today's session. Thank you once again to our women founders, Lee Ching, Musfira, Lavani, and Dr. Alina, for taking your time to speak to us and share with us on your journey and your story as a women entrepreneur. I'm sure many of our viewers will benefit from the experience, and I have certainly learned a lot, and I'm feeling very inspired by our conversation today. So thank you very much for that. We look forward to your success on your ECF campaign with us as well. So good luck.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
International Women's Day.
Thank you. Happy
Bye.
You must say bye-bye.